might be fucked. Ah! Bitch ass motherfucker, you dead hoe ass motherfucker, you dead bitch, I'm not bitch, what's up? What's up, bro? That's why you dead, bro. Live to run another day, bro. Live to run another day. You good. Hoe ass nigga, he gonna get on the mic talking about some, you just gonna run like a bitch. I show him not finna fucking help you. You two idiots want to run up there and get slimed. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm finna take my loot and go. What you mean?
Now, before we get started, let me just go ahead and say this right here, right now. Marathon is not a bad game, or at least in my opinion, it cannot be. Extremely, extremely fun. I have had nothing but enjoyable moments with it so far, and I find for the end game map, Cryo Archive, to be, it's fun. I mean, at least I haven't necessarily been able to fully get through it, but I do enjoy whenever it comes around. It gives me some incentive to play. I've also enjoyed all of the sponsored modes they've done. Sponsored modes, in my opinion, which I will get to here in a little bit, I feel like are essential to the game now. It's one of the few things that genuinely breathes life into it. And from where it is right now, low player counts and all, Marathon is still, in my opinion, on the upward. It's got a lot of good, dedicated folks that are playing it, like me, behind it, and I can truly see that the game itself can go somewhere. Now, we've had some stranger announcements, some of the PvE only variety, which is like, in my opinion, dumb. I don't really want to have a PvE-esque mode in the game. I'm cool with Marathon being just exactly what it is, the extraction shooter, Bungie's extraction shooter, and us being able to get used to the idea of how they would be able to bring their own spin of that to the table. Don't want a whole lot of PvE-esque modes, but it seems as if we're getting them. And whatever, let's say, future or plans that they have for the game, I would truly hope that it still stays relatively within the lane of still being an extraction shooter. I don't, in any capacity and or sense, do I want to have a battle royale-esque mode or anything else like that, which kind of can help transition, which, you know, speaking of battle royales, transitions into my next point of sponsored modes. Now, let me just say this. Some folks, especially the folks at the higher end, don't really like sponsored modes. They probably feel as if that it's kind of useless and it doesn't really add too much of anything. That's exactly how I feel about ranked, which, just to do a slight offshoot comparison and then still give it time here a little bit later in the video, I don't know who ranked is for, and I don't even know if anyone really likes it. I don't know what type of loot incentive it might have. I don't know if there's like exclusive things you can only get from there, but I digress. Mainly just sticking on to the actual topic of sponsored modes themselves. They're essential to how the game should be running now. This week, we haven't had any sponsors. No sponsored maps. And in my opinion, this has been one of the worst weeks to actually play. Because if you happen to be someone like me who is a like lower to like middle-esque kind of like player where I've got a couple thousand credits or something like that within my vault, or to my account, I've got a good amount of weapons and a good amount of items and everything else like that, comes consumables and everything like that of the sort. But I can't find any real reason to like actually want to continue to play whenever weeks like this come along, because I've had nothing but matches where it is back to back losses. And it's not that I'm losing stuff necessarily, because I'm not always taking my own things in, but it's a whole lot more about I need to have an actual sponsored game, because every single time, and at least for me, I'll say it right now, there's definitely been a massive curve in, like, I would probably say like the skill level. When well, not even really skill. Let me just say accessibility. Because I'll say it right now, I have a lot of blues in my vault. Got a lot of blue backpacks. Even got a good amount of greens. And I have maybe like 1 or 2 purple weapons or so. And on top of that, every other weapon that I have is usually around a blue, maybe even like a gray. I don't even really have greens or anything like that. So in terms of like my slim pickings of what I actually can really bring in, not even slim pickings, in terms of the actual pickings in which I can bring in there, yeah, I might lose some stuff, and yeah, it might be of like a higher value, but there's also things that I will consistently always not be able to have compared to somebody else. Because sure, other people will be able to walk in with blue backpacks, and others will be able to walk in with various weapons of various of various levels, prestige, whatever else it may be. We'll all be able to get access to that. But I haven't been able to get access to blue shields or purple shields, which are major within PvP gunfights. I haven't been able to get access to them bitches really like at all. And I have been trying my damnedest to really work with New Caloric, because I want for them to understand that, yes, I need my blue shields and I need to be able to, and I'm really trying to make sure that I work with y'all. But trust whenever I say that sometimes spending like your entire day wanting and trying to do contracts is a lot harder to do whenever there is no sponsored mode to go do them in. So there's a part of me that does understand that, yes, the base game as it is still needs to be appreciated, and you still need to kind of learn. Sponsored modes shouldn't necessarily be around every single week for the quote-unquote casual-esque players to kind of just get in and do whatever, but it does help. And if we're trying to bring brand new players in and then also retain them as well, a sponsored mode is exactly what the game needs. I feel as if that's been one of the best decisions that the game has made so far. Love the sponsored modes. Now, I will say this. If I have weird feelings towards ranked, it's mainly because I don't know what it offers beyond bragging rights. And for how small the game's core player base is right now, it's not really that serious. We don't really know who the quote unquote ranked players are, and even if we do, no one's like looking for them. And if I can be even more blunt, like ranked players in their own right probably don't even give that much of a shit. I don't even really think they're going to continue to play ranked after season 2. Now, unless they are, and I could be completely wrong about that, but at least in my opinion, I don't really see too much of any incentive just beyond that. And there is a part of me too that does understand that there are some folks that really do like to have that extra option. I'm not saying that it's bad, but if you are a fan of ranked, what exactly would you look for to maybe improve the game mode, or maybe what would you add to possibly bring in more players to actually try ranked out? Because ever since it's come out, I've never decided to like queue up into a single game. It just hasn't been much of anything for me in terms of like, I just haven't seen like much of really any interest in it. But I can get that the whole power fantasy of being able to like kill a runner, kill a team, take their tag, and extract with it. That's cool. I can understand that feeling. That is pretty cool. But if all I'm really gonna get from that is maybe like an exclusive skin, a knife or two, or something like that, or like a weapon charm, I'll pass. I'll definitely pass. Ranked is not something that I feel as if they've implemented, I would say, enough for it to really be interesting. It's just very shallow from what I've seen so far, and not really much of anything to kind of offer beyond just, yeah, I'm whatever ranked in Marathon. Cool. Now, I'll say this. With all of that being said, how exactly do I personally feel? I do believe that the game is great. It's just, with what I've said, the very small amount that I have said, it's exactly that. The game is small. The game feels strangely homogenous, like in terms of like trying to stick to its own ideas. And now that it's trying to branch out and possibly do other things, I am excited. But I'm just wanting for them to kind of stick to the formula of new runners, new shells, and like, new runner shells, new maps, and new weapons. I don't necessarily need to see a PvE mode. And on top of that too, I gotta be honest, sponsored modes do need to kind of be a permanent thing. We need to have a weekly map that you can go into to do your sponsored stuff, because that gives you incentive to actually go out and do something different. It does. And in my opinion, like, it brings a good amount of casual players to the game. And the way in which it's just been as of right now, just in general, Marathon was not how it was back in the server slam, or even not even during the very first like 2 weeks, or like not even really like during like the very first full month of Marathon, where everyone was still kind of figuring out the kinks and getting used to some stuff. It's not that way now. I do appreciate that the player base has gotten better, a lot more skilled and intuitive with the game systems and maps and everything else of the sort. And I love that it's pushing me to keep up, along with it still being intriguing enough to bring me back every single day. That being said, the game does, in my opinion, lack a good amount of just what seems to be actual content. I want more than 4 maps, and I like to be able to play the sponsored ones because it feels like that we have 5. Because there will be a point in time where, yeah, I might not want to go to like sponsored Dire Marsh, because my last sponsored match was actually really fucking good. So much so to where I'm actually willing to go in here with some kitted out stuff and see what I get on top of that. And I'm gonna try to go complete a couple of in-game events. That's what I love about this game. When the design decisions work, it feels great. It feels like Bungie actually knows what they're doing when it all works and when it all is like put together. And I just don't want for some of these newer ideas that they have coming down the pipeline to like kind of muddy itself within like the cohesion of everything that we have right now. And I'll say just 1-to-1 too, we have to stay consistent whenever, and when I say this, we need to stay consistent with these updates. I love that Bungie and them has been really, really consistent, and they've been trying to keep, you know, the Marathon players in line and like up to date with everything that is going on. But yeah, beyond all that, guys, we need to we also need to make sure that these sponsor maps are coming in every week. I'm sorry, but I gotta say it right now. They're so mandatory that it doesn't even make any sense. I'm about to get killed right here. The problem about everything that the game might be facing right now can easily, and I mean easily, be fixed by not doing too much, and honestly just keeping a very visible through line for what you guys are actually trying to do. Maybe we don't need a whole bunch of these other PvE modes coming up. Maybe we don't need all of these other experimental modes that you guys might have in play. Maybe we just need to actually make ranked a little bit more cool. Maybe we need to start adding exclusive loot to certain, you know, like to certain maps, or to let's say, well, not certain maps, but to, you know, like certain game modes. I genuinely believe that. And I'll say it right now, I'm not excited for Night Marsh at all. If that's going to be the new map, or like within the new map rotation, I'm not here for it. I'm genuinely not. And whatever they are going to do with this new runner shell, I hope and pray that he is actually going to be, let's say, cool enough to get me off of Triage and Destroyer, because those are just the 2 most fun shells to play next to Vandal here and then, who is kind of ass. So, Marathon, the game itself, the one that Bungie has sunk all of its time, blood, sweat, tears, and, you know, money into, is pretty good. But the game sucks sometimes. It has a really big problem with, at least in my opinion, it has a really big problem with trying to keep its hardcore identity while also still trying to cater to a more casual-esque audience. When in my opinion, the game's design, where the game as it is, it feels like it's trying to come off as hardcore, and it does within gameplay and moment-to-moment, you know, it does within moment-to-moment gameplay, but also it just does kind of still feel a little like BS. Sometimes the UESC are just way more fucking overpowered than what you might actually think. These guys are extremely aggressive, which I do appreciate, but sometimes they will end up spawning from like completely random ass places. Like, you will end up being You end up being like bombarded by 2 whole separate teams of them after you got done wiping out 3 waves. It's insane how crazy these bots can come through sometimes. And along with the fact that, yeah, if you, like I said, if you aren't really walking around with the blue or purple shield as of right now, you're fucked. More often than not, you are going to be fucked over in a fight. And there's this idea that people will say, no, there's this saying that people are about the game where, oh, having better loot doesn't really equate to you being a better player. I know that. That's 100% true. That doesn't mean that they have the advantage, and that doesn't mean that within a game like Marathon, where the TTK is literally like within like a second or two, like, dog, yeah, it's good, it's up. And then especially whenever everybody's runner shells, especially on these more darker, like tighter knit maps, yeah, they're usually walking in with super dark skins that are gonna shade and that are gonna blend into the background in the darker places a lot better. Folks know how to, people are smart, they know how to play this game. So I don't want to sit here and like try to cater to that side of the player base that is saying, oh, we'll just get good, it doesn't necessarily matter. No, because there's still absolute sweats or gods of players that are also kitted the fuck out every single time they go in. There is a massive problem, and I truly do believe that the way that they have the faction system set up and how you get your upgrades is super cool, and I do appreciate that. But some of the things in which you need to do to get these things are fucking deplorable. For me to be able to buy blue shields, I have to fuck around and find, I don't know where I'm going to find these purples, as a matter of fact, because out of all the purples that I have extracted and got, these are the only 2 that I've never seen in the game. Cool, cute, fine, dandy. Might even start making time to try to go do that, right? But how can I with nothing but green shields? It's like, no matter what, if I'm meant to be in these higher end places of, if I'm meant to be doing these higher level events, and I'm more than likely going to be running into these higher level players along the way, you know, like due to said fact, I'm gonna need for the road to be a little bit less rocky. That's me. Or at least the stipulations themselves to be a lot less rigid. Because in my opinion, I feel as if everyone should be able to get their upgrades to at least what would be, because I feel like you should be able to get all your basic upgrades, even like your free stuff, slightly more easier. I'll say right now, for you to get your free nades, you gotta work for the nades. I don't think they should change the Mida quest up at all. Actually, matter of fact, don't change up none of the quests for you to get your free items. The bitches are supposed to be hard for a reason. I'm cool on that. But what I'm not cool on is just everything else after the fact. Even the situation that I'm in right now, I'm trying to retroactively not only buy blue shields, but then also try to increase my vault space. Can't right now because I gotta get a Cyber Acme rank of 28. But like on top of that too, I have like little to no vault space. I'm always logging into the game with like fucking 20 to 30 spaces left. We're just going out there and, you know, play the game. I definitely am. But then imagine I do that and then the things that I'm losing are maybe like 2 greens in terms of like weapons, a green shield, and then like a blue backpack. So it's like, I don't mind playing, but at a certain point in time, I'm gonna get mad losing all them damn blue backpacks, especially whenever I'm rocking only these green shields. Personally, I feel as if that the items should be a little bit more easier to come by, but that's just me. And regardless of how everybody else might be thinking, the game itself does have life. Got a little bit of time to make, you know, something real good of itself as well. I think Bungie's probably gonna give it about a good 1.5 to 2, not even 1.5 years. Probably gonna give it a good 2 years solid to see where it is. And, you know, let's just hope and pray it all works out. Because you never really know. You never really know when it comes to, first of all, Bungie, but then also video games in general. I love what Marathon has brought to the extraction shooter table, and I genuinely do hope that the team itself and everyone else behind it continues to work even more harder to make it a much better game than what it is now. I've enjoyed it, and if you haven't played it as of right now, give it some time. I think you might enjoy it too.
We'll be waiting in your dreams, astronauts in We'll be waiting.